And we are here with Sterling Swimming on Channel 19. Sterling taking on Northern Burlington here from the Kroc Center in Camden, New Jersey. I'm Jacob Clark. On the camera with me and on the headset is Mr. K.
Jacob, this is going to be a lot of fun tonight. Our first swimming meet of this season. We were here last year, and this is our first chance to look at what Sterling has for us this year.
Yeah, they had a meet earlier in the year. I think they lost that one, but this is the first one we'll get to cover. Good to see all the swimmers in person this year.
There's a good shot of our swimming team. You see assistant coach Flacco to the left. Again, we're at the Kroc Center. We're in Camden, New Jersey. We're maybe a mile from the Ben Franklin Bridge. As you go to the Ben Franklin Bridge, if you make a right and 2 or 3 turns, that's where we're located. It's a really cool facility, Jake. Have you ever been here before?
I have not. I've been to the outside part. My brother played soccer a few times. In here, I've never been. It's very nice. Basketball courts, swimming, a lot of fields in the back. It's a great place. And it's a great place to be. And Mr. Sheehan joins us.
Thank God Mr. Sheehan's here to help us out. Welcome, Mr. Sheehan. Oh, here he comes. Welcome, Mr. Sheehan, to the broadcast.
Thank you. It's good to be here at the Kroc Center watching the kids swim. It's been a year.
And were you able to see the last meet that these young men and women had?
No, unfortunately I was busy last weekend and missed it, but I heard they swam pretty well against Delran. Came up a little bit short, but I heard some kids got some experience and they did a pretty good job.
So we asked Mr. Sheehan to help us out because Mr. Sheehan, longtime coach and obviously instructor at the Stratford Swim Club. Are there any featured swimmers that we should keep our eye on today?
Well, generally, if you're going to look at, for both teams, the middle lanes, which here I guess it's lanes 4 and 5. Sterling is in lanes 4, 2, and 6. So you got Shea Wiley, Braden Sheehan, Michael Berkeley, and Kaylee Sheehan. So that's your top, probably your top 4 swimmers, your main relay swimmers. And for Northern Burlington, that would be lane 5, which is Will Applegate. It looks like Jonathan Balshear, Dylan Ross, and Matt Matina. So usually you watch the middle lane swimmers. As we mentioned in the past, the middle lane swimmers are your top swimmers, but the outside lane swimmers determine who wins the meet.
All right.
These relays are very important when it comes down to the end of the meet. There are a lot of points, team points.
Remind me here, is it 8-4-2 for relays?
Yes, 8-4-2, and then individuals is 6-4-3-2-1.
So a lot of times those kids fight for that 5th and 6th place determines the meet. So, but like you said, relays are significant because of the scoring here. Now I understand that Northern Burlington defeated Audubon in their first meet pretty decisively.
So that must mean they're pretty good.
We'll see.
All right.
We'll see. I think we'll win our share, but we may not have the depth that they have. If you notice, their middle lane, they got 4 boys, where we got 2 girls, 2 boys going here. So Shea Wiley's in the water for Sterling, along with Kira Ahern and Gianna Papa.
And they're underway. Beginning of the 200-yard medley relay.
So right now, Northern Burlington's running 1-3-4. So again, it's going to be big here. So Braden is a pretty strong breaststroke. Let's see if he can reel in the second swimmer from Northern Burlington.
Oh yeah, he's making up some ground already.
Yeah, breaststroke, a lot of times you can go underwater for 15 yards. So it's a little bit past midway, and the good swimmers can really take it down the pool. Let's see if he can catch this kid on his pull out here.
On the pull out, looking to close the gap is Sheehan.
And Michael Berkeley is up next here.
Top 2 lanes are onto the fly.
All right, so Michael, it's going to be pretty tight here. All right, the anchor for Sterling is Kaylee Sheehan, and she's swimming Northern Burlington's Matt Matina. They got about a half a stroke lead here. Oh, Kaylee looks like she caught him right on the start.
Wow.
Now let's see if she can hold on here. This kid's pretty strong. Now Kaylee's probably going to have a sharper turn. Let's see.
That's competitive.
Yeah, a little stronger. Let's see if she can.
She's closing that gap.
Great race.
And it goes to Northern Burlington.
They won by 6,400 seconds there. 6.064. Northern Burlington is coming in third place. So again, the points there are 10-4 in favor of Northern Burlington. All right, into water 4, Sterling in lane 7. Oh, I'm sorry, is that lane 6? I think that is. It might be Sophia Saggio. If I'm looking at the lanes, we go 1 to 8 across. Okay.
Yep. So you take a look at it here. Northern Burlington takes first, with Sterling taking second. Lane 3 for Northern Burlington comes in third. And I believe it's only the top 3 that score points for the team perspective.
So like we said, depth's going to be huge here. So when you get in the individual events, you know, as you mentioned, 6-4, 3-2-1, you're competing for the top 5 places. So sometimes the outside lane swimmers determine the meet. All right, so we're in the 200-yard freestyle. For Sterling, we have in lane 4, Hunter Jewell, lane 2, Vivian Cesarano, and lane 6, Isabella Morales Wells.
And for Northern Burlington in lane 5 is Dylan Kratz. Lane 3, Abby Masters. And in lane 7, Megan Dreham.
Coach Stewart was kind enough to use a computer to generate these meet sheets.
Yeah,
a little easier to read than the handwritten ones.
These are Northern Burlington handwritten. The handwriting is really rough.
We're at the mercy of the penmanship. So this is where you see a little bit of depth. None of the swimmers here for Sterling, and I'm sure the same thing for Northern Burlington, swam the medley relay or the medley relay. So these guys could be a little bit fresh here as they're swimming. The teams that really have some depth, they can probably go a couple of events without repeating.
Yeah, and if you have those relays are worth more team points, they're way more important. Only 3 score points for you. You probably want to put your best 4 out there. Best 4 in the fast lane, per
right.
se.
And then strategically, you got to plot where you want to put them individually, because after the 200 free, you get the 200 IM and then the 50 free, then there's a little break. So you'll see probably that kid who anchored the relay is probably going to do the 50 free for them. And I'm sure Kaylee Sheehan and Michael Berkeley will be in the mix there somewhere as well. So right now we have Northern Burlington is running 1-2 with Hunter Jewell fighting for that second spot. He's currently in third. And it looks like Vivian Cesarano is fighting for 4th place.
Pretty evenly split at that 4-5 with lanes 2 and 7.
A little bit of a gap now between first and second and third.
Right. Now this, it's an 8-lap race. This is a sprint. This is, for your track athletes out there, this is like your 400 meter. And it's not a casual race. You're going to be sprinting this. And high school swimming is a little bit unique in that many of your top swimmers swim USS. They swim for Wahoos. They swim for SJAC, GPAC. And they really get to shine in the distance events because they get a little bit more training. So with high school swimmers, like I'm looking at Hunter Jewell. Hunter's an athlete. He plays soccer, swims during the winter season, does a good job. But I would venture to say these 2 swimmers are probably club swimmers year-round. So Northern Burlington goes 1-2. Hunter Jewell is going to be touching in here in third place with a 2:16.36.
And 4th is Northern Burlington. Megan Dram comes in 4th.
And Vivian Cesarano touches in 5th, 2:31.26. And here's Isabella Morales Wells. Isabella's coming off a pretty serious foot or ankle injury from the field hockey season. So it's great to see her out here participating.
Well, especially in the foot or the ankle, probably hurts your ability to kick, and so to speak. And kicking in the pool, it's just as much as your arms as your legs, I'm sure.
Big time. So here we go, 200 IM. This is the all around. 2 laps free, 2 laps butter, 2 laps back, 2 laps breast, 2 laps freestyle. So in lane 4 for Sterling is Braden Sheehan, lane 2 is Megan Quinn, and lane 6 is Cara Ahern. This is one of Braden's better events here. He's pretty good at all 4 strokes.
And in the IM for Northern Burlington, Dylan Ross in lane 5, Jonathan Boucher in lane 3, and Claire Weinsgaber in lane 7.
So in the IM here, you want to be long in your butterfly. Your underwater's nice and long every stroke. You want to kind of conserve your energy off your turns. And the big leg of the 200 IM is the breaststroke. If breaststroke is slow, it's really, really slow. Whereas if your butterfly is off, it's off by a second or 2. But breaststroke, you always want to build to your breaststroke, and then whatever you have left for the freestyle, you know, put it all into the water. So here's Braden's butterfly, nice and long.
I'm sure you got to be well-rounded, got to be consistently good in all 4.
You're only as good as your weakest stroke, so you want to be very good at all 4. And like I said, breaststroke is kind of the key. Good IMers are generally really good breaststrokers. Braden's strongest stroke is probably butterfly, followed by his backstroke. Breaststroke is probably his worst stroke, but it's not as it's not too far behind.
Well, he's opened up a bit of a lead with that.
And again, you'll notice the kids that are up front, it kind of looks effortless to them, but again, Braden's a club swimmer. He puts a lot of time into the sport, and he's got a lot of experience. So he's well ahead in first place, followed by Northern Burlington's lane 5 and then lane 3. And kind of unique again to swimming, this is co-ed. So you notice quite a few times that Northern Burlington has predominantly boys in the races versus girls, which is fine. But there's sometimes a competitive advantage or disadvantage. But Sterling swimmers, we have Megan and Kira are doing a great job there in lanes, what do we got? 3 and 7.
It's impressive.
Braden Sheehan already on the freestyle, very sizable lead.
You're talking half a pole length more.
And one of the things with Braden his strength is in distance swimming. So when he does the 500 for high school, in club swimming, he'll do the 1,000, he'll do the the mile, which is 66 laps. So an 8-lap race for him, he's just getting warmed up.
Wow.
Good job for Braden, finishing at a 2:08.08. I'm not sure what the school record is, but I would venture to say he's probably getting close to it. If I recall, it was held by Andrew Matola at one time, and then it was broken by Max Plank. And I think that Gabe Boca may have broken that record a couple years ago.
Northern Burlington comes in with 2nd and 3rd. In lane 5, coming in 2nd, is Dylan Ross, and in lane 3, coming in 3rd, is Jonathan Boucher.
All right, and it looks like Cara Ahern just touched up for 5th place. Well, I'm sorry, 4th place, 2:47.74. Megan Quinn's doing a great job right here, right? We talked about those 5th and 6th places. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. Megan is coming in to touch in at 4th place, and Kira looks like she is finishing in 5th and 6th here. Trying to get my bearings here, first meet in a while. So great effort by these 2 young ladies. You know, the 200 IM is a very difficult race, and they did a great job. All right, next up is the sprint. This way you don't want to blink. This is the 50 freestyle. So for Sterling, in lane 4 is Michael Berkeley. He did butterfly in the relay. In lane 2 is Shea Wiley, and in lane 6 is Cara Coppolino.
In lane 5 for Northern Burlington, you have Matt Mijone. In lane 3, Will Applegate. And in lane 7, Lena Crochan.
Now, if you recall, lane 5 for Northern Burlington's middle lane swimmer was the anchor in the relay. So let's see how Michael Berkeley does. So as you mentioned earlier, Jake, this is a lot of legs. You know, when you get a 2-lap race, it's just your feet are pounding the whole time. You're moving your arms as fast as you can, and you're not breathing a whole lot. So great race here. Northern Burlington's lane 3 swimmer.
In lane 3, Will Applegate looks like he's going to come in first, and he does, followed by Michael Berkeley. And then followed by the lane 5 swimmer, Matt Majane.
So Sterling went 2-4. I'll tell you what's impressive so far is their depth. They went 1-3-4 point-wise. That just, it doesn't stack up for us. So they won that event 11-5. So very difficult when they have that kind of depth. So kudos to them, but we're doing a nice job too. Shea Wiley Michael did a 24.72. Shea Wiley was at a 27.50, and Cara Coppolino 30.37. Good times.
And we're going to take a quick break here from the Kroc Center. Sterling swimming against Northern Burlington. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back with Sterling swimming at the Kroc. Sterling down to Northern Burlington 42-20 as we get ready after the intermission for the 100 fly.
And Jake, we were talking during that little break. This is where, in the old days, diving would have taken place, and it gives a natural break. Michael Berkeley just swam the 50 free, and now he's jumping on the block for the 100 fly. He's had about a 10-minute rest, so not long, but at least enough here. So for Sterling, we got Michael Berkeley, Megan Ahern, and Gianna Papa.
And for the 100 fly for Northern Burlington, Maddie Fletcher in lane 5, Caleb Bonowski in lane 3, and Josh Kalm in lane 7 as they're off.
So in the 100 fly, it's a sprint, but you're going to be very stroke efficient. So if you watch Michael, he's going to try to maintain a nice long stroke and maybe the same number of strokes each lap. And typically what happens when you get tired, the stroke count goes up each lap. He's got a little strength in this girl, but I bet she's going to be able to hold her stroke technique a little bit longer here. So that's going to be the challenge as this goes into the second 50.
Berkeley still ahead by probably a stroke would be my guess. Northern Burlington has second and third, although Maddie Fletcher seems to be closing that gap between Michael Berkeley as they head into the last 50.
Now last lap here from Michael, it's all heart. Technique might be thrown out of the window. He sees the wall, and he's just going to stroke as hard as he can to get to the wall. Good swim by Northern Burlington. She's
Maddie Fletcher hanging with them.
So Michael touches first.
But a few strokes too short as Michael Berkeley. And Maddie Fletcher finishes with a 103.42. And coming in for Northern Burlington in third from lane 3. Caleb Bonowski with a 114.33.
And Megan Ahern for Sterling finishes fifth at a 125.48. And Gianna Papa finishes with a 131.88. Now the great thing with swimming, these kids will work hard. They have a time they can shoot for next meet to try to improve their best time.
And that's all it is about getting better. Most of the time, I ran cross country. The coach always told us, you're racing against yourself. I feel like some of them out here, they're racing against themselves, trying to get the best time they can possibly get.
And their hard work pays off. They'll see their times drop. So we're out to 100 freestyle. For Sterling in lane 4, Kaylee Sheehan, in lane 200, Jewel, and in lane 5, Shea Wiley.
For Northern Burlington, we have Dylan Ross in lane 5, Lena Crochan in lane 3, and William Beathlot in lane 7.
So this is a pretty deep event for us. Hunter, Kaylee, and Shea are pretty experienced. And this is probably going to be a good race for us, I'm going to guess here.
Off on the 100 free, and it looks like Hunter Jewel.
You can see the Sterling swimmers are tightly packed here between Hunter, Kaylee, and Shea. We're trailing Northern Burlington, but we could win the race point-wise if we have this finish right here.
Northern Burlington's Dylan Ross.
So Hunter and Shea Wiley are the key. If they can, pass the swimmer that's in lane 3, that's going to help us with some points. So Kaylee Sheehan's got a hold on the second, which is close. Northern Burlington touches first in a 54.22. That's an excellent time. Kaylee Sheehan is second at a 57.95. Northern Burlington took the third, and then we got Hunter Jewell took fourth, 59.47. Great time for Hunter, and Shea Wiley fifth, 1 minute point 96. So Northern Burlington outscored Sterling on that one 9-7.
Now we're moving on to the 500 free. Now Sterling is down 51-29.
Matt, what was the key number? What number you reached to clinch the win?
So it's there's 16 points in each race. So for the event, Tad, or for the meet?
For the meet.
So for the meet, I think you can tie at 86 apiece. You need 87 to win it outright. All right, so this is a 20-lap race. Each swimmer has a counter down the other end that kind of assists them counting their laps. You can easily lose track of where you're at. So for Sterling, we got Vivian Cesarano, Cara Coppolino, and Izzy Morales-Wells.
And for Northern Burlington, in lane 5, Abby Masteris. In lane 3, Jillian Kate. And in lane 7, Elizabeth Dickin.
It's interesting. It's 5 ladies and 1 gentleman here.
You know, in the 500, you want to try to settle into a nice rhythm. Jake, a lot like running, you want to get comfortable but be fast, and try not to let your form break apart too much. So Vivian's our most experienced swimmer in this event, and I know Vivian swam the event last week. She's probably going to keep that same tempo and time that she established last Saturday and maybe try to improve upon it.
Yeah, probably got to get out to a fast start, but not too fast. You don't want to waste up all your endurance.
And interesting, Cara Coppolino swam the 50 free for us, and then she's jumping and doing the 500. So it's a little bit of a difference in pace and obviously distance. And Cara, being a cross-country runner, kind of knows how to pace herself a bit, I'm sure. By the way, it's great to see kids cross-train. You know, Cara's going to go from, you know, cross-country to swimming. What a great break it is for those muscles, and you know, she can work on different types of core muscles here, which may help her in her spring season as well. We had mentioned Vivian's also a field hockey player, as is Izzy Wells. So it's great seeing these kids do multiple sports.
All right, we're going to pick up on our Sterling swimmer here and kind of talk about what we're seeing.
So we're on Vivian Cesarano. I think going the other way, that's Northern Burlington.
Okay. All right, let me see if I can grab one of our, let's go. We'll go over here.
All right, here comes Vivian off a wall. Now, one of the things you want to do, you'll notice Vivian's going to try to get into a rhythm here. Her legs aren't kicking as hard. You want to try to rest your lower body. And oftentimes you want to put a breathing pattern on it. You try to encourage like breathing every 3, but it looks like Vivian's doing every 4. And typically if you do every 3, it keeps your stroke in balance and doesn't put too much stress on one side you might be breathing on. But she's going to, you know, get into a rhythm here. And again, it's stroke efficiency. Just be nice and long. Each lap, it might be 21, 22 strokes. Don't let that fluctuate too much. Don't go up to 30. So the key is pacing, comfortable pacing at that.
Yeah, it seems like what you're looking for here is consistency. Got to be consistent in the amount of times you got to breathe, the amount of strokes per lap, because if you go too fast and then you take too many strokes, you're going to slow yourself down.
Right, and if you watch some of the middle lane swimmers, they may take like 15, 16 strokes per lap, and they can maintain that all 20 laps. Some kids might start at 15, 16, it'll balloon up to about 24, 25, and they work really hard. But you want to be, you know, smart, you know, and work hard here. So this was Cara Coppolino. And, you know, big thing too is when you make your flip turns, you want to try to get out past the flag if possible before you start your stroke. So Cara made it right to the flag. Good streamline push off.
There we go. I'm trying to give you other Sterling swimmer. Nope. Can't see the hats here. It's blue. All right, here we go.
All right, there's Izzy Wells. All right, Izzy does a great job. She's got a nice long stroke. One of the things you look for in a stroke too, we talked about the legs aren't working as hard, maybe a 2-beat kick, but you know, high elbows, and you want to extend in the water and stretch out in the water. And let's see Izzy's turn. Again, good streamline, come off the wall, get some distance, and then get right back into your rhythm swimming. And you'll notice the counters down the other end, Tad. You know, it's pretty vital that A, they do a good job, but they can also encourage you, let you know where you're at in the pool, or let you know where you're at in your pacing, and they'll shake it around, they'll push it up and down if need be, to let you know where you're at. When they get to lap 19, they put up an orange symbol. That means there's no more laps to go. The worst thing you can do as a counter is not count enough laps and someone has to do 2 additional laps. If they're going to make a mistake, make it on the short side. So again, here's Vivian, all right, maintaining a stroke count. I'm sure coach is getting some splits for every 50 or every 100, and it's something that they can learn from as they go through. Hey, go out a little bit faster, or you drop off some time here. Jake, do you guys do that with cross country to get splits at certain intervals?
We do. Sometimes when we're running out there, the coach is at the 2 mile or something, and he gives us, how we're doing, where we can improve. Can we go a little faster or slow it up because we still got a mile left. Now, it's got to be tough to hear the splits, especially you're in the pool, you're trying to swim.
Yeah, and that's why I said the counter's a key, because sometimes the counter will hold a card a certain place, or they'll do something with it to let you know you're maybe off your time a little bit to pick it up. I think, if I'm guessing correctly, I think Vivian's going to be somewhere in the mid-7s, and I think Izzy will be a little above that, as will Cara. So they probably know where their splits will be and what their top times are. Typically kids say, I got to swim a 20-lap race, and that's where as a coach you want to say, but you do 120 every day in practice. It's nothing. So there's different training for the different, obviously different strokes, but also for the different distances as well. So it's good to see. Our kids are well-rounded. Cara did the 50 and now the 500.
This our last.
Seems as though we're seeing some orange symbols signifying last lap.
All right, we'll focus on these two.
2 from Northern Burlington coming in.
So you can see as they're getting done, their kick's picking up. They're going from a 2-beat kick probably to about a 16-beat per stroke kick. Their legs are working a little bit harder now. And their turnover, which means their arm cycle is picked up. So sometimes that's your conditioning, but sometimes these guys have a lot left in the tank where they're able to pick up their stroke rate and finish strong. So their time, looks like they're great times for these two. 5:50.95, 5:50.81. Boy, that was a great push for the two of them.
Lane 5 for Northern Burlington comes in first. That is Abby Maestri. It seems as though we got a bit of a race here. Coming in for third. And
they got one more 50 to go.
One more 50 to go.
So one of the toughest things is you swim 18 laps and you got a kid next to you and you're fighting for that 3rd or 4th spot. So it's always a good race down to the end. This is a good push for Vivian if she wants to set up a best time.
Here it is, coming into the final lap, coming here for 3rd.
And you can see Vivian, we saw her earlier. Her kick was very soft. Now she's got a stronger kick. Finishing strong here. That shows well for Vivian's conditioning and good race. So Vivian, I predicted 7 minutes. She had a 6:47.82, which is a great swim. Now Northern Burlington, again, we talked about depth. They want 1, 2, 3. So I think the outcome of the meet has been kind of determined. It's now about establishing times and setting best times and getting new swims. Here's Cara Coppolino. All right, Cara with a 7:18.52. Again, great time for Cara. And here comes Isabella Morales. I was thinking 7:30 for her, and there she is, 7:30.46. Great swim.
Good times for all the swimmers there. But yeah, you said it, Northern Burlington took 1, 2, and 3 there.
All right, so after the 500, we have the 200-yard free relay for Sterling in lane 4. We've got Sydney Jewell, Ashley Blakelock, Shea Wiley, and Hunter Jewell. Lane 2, Isabel D'Angelo, Megan Quinn, Gianna Papa, Kira Ahern. And in lane 6, Jay Petrov, B. Hernandez, Kay Hamilton, and M. Skelly.
And for lane 5 in Northern Burlington, Lena Crochan, Dylan Kate, Matt Mojena, and Dylan Ross. Lane 3 is William Betharet, Connor O'Donnell, Josh Combe, and Abby Waiters. Lane 7, Grace Fowle, Bridget O'Donnell, Alexandria Ayak, and Shara Thatcher.
So this is a great opportunity. There's 24 swimmers involved here, 12 for each team. This is a chance for a coach to get splits, talk to the kids about what they've done right, what they can work on in practice to get a little bit faster. So this is very pivotal for maybe a meet later in the year where you might need to find a relay swimmer or somebody to add a depth in another event for you. So Northern Burlington right now is out 1-2. Underwater for Sterling right now is Ashley Blakelock.
And the swimmers know it's something about the relays that is just, they mean a lot more. You can tell they get a lot more excited when these events go on, and especially the longer races, the 500 free, they're all cheering on their teammates. And I think that, you know, being a swimmer, you can't hear them, but you know that your teammates are cheering you on, and it's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, you know, swimming's an individual sport, but here's a team concept. You know, and a lot of times, like you said, you want to work harder for your teammates, and there is some excitement back there. They're right behind the blocks cheering you on.
Isn't there more points too for a relay?
Yeah, and I think only it's only the top 3 that qualify. It's 8 for first place, 4 for second, and 2 for third, and then the rest can't score for team points. So the relays do mean a lot more.
So Northern Burlington finishes first at a 146.35. I believe they are going to go 1-2.
And they do as lane 7 comes in with a 154.78.
And Sterling finishes third, anchored by Hunter Jewell at a 202.88. So again, coach will look at these, will get splits, and be able to move some people around maybe for a future meet. All right, I think we're on, where's Tad at? We're on lane 2. This looks like, let me see, I'm not sure of the swimmers we have in lane. That might have been Kira Ahern. And lane 6. Finishing strong. We got a race out there. You can hear the volume, right? Everybody's cheering on the swimmers.
You can hear the volume in here.
Great job.
Sterling.
Now, you know what? That didn't take, there's no points involved there, but that's really good work by both swimmers. But we'll give Sterling a little more credit. She finished strong and got and her relay won that place.
Yeah, a real come from behind win right there at the end.
All right, 100 backstroke. Kaylee Sheehan, Sydney Jewell, and Megan Quinn for Sterling.
And in lane 5 for Northern Burlington is Will Applegate. In lane 3, Claire Wiesberger, and in lane 7, Abel Spergate.
So at this point in the meet, these guys probably swam 2 events. This is their 3rd event within about 30 or 40 minutes. They're going to do the best they can, but it may not be a best time. I know Kaylee's done 2 events. She can go about a 101, 102. This will probably be about a 104, 105, just depending upon what she has left here. So again, this is a sprint. When you get under the flags, use the backstroke flags that count your strokes. You get 1 stroke on your stomach, and then you're just looking for a good streamline off the wall and then good arm turnover.
Now, I'm sure they practice it. They know how many strokes before they need to turn, correct?
That is correct. You're only allowed, once you cross over your stomach, you're allowed 1 pull down. If you take a 2nd stroke, you're disqualified. Obviously, if you're far away from the moral, that's not benefiting you. So usually the swimmer's about 3 strokes and then a crossover stroke.
Northern Burlington's.
We've heard that name, Applegate or something, right?
Yep, Will Applegate seems to have a bit of a lead on Kaylee Sheehan. So they go for the final 50 towards the finish. Seems as Applegate will come in first.
Applegate's in with a 102.22. Kaylee with a 104.24.
It looks as though Northern Burlington will take 3 and 4. Coming in third.
And it looks like we're looking at Megan Quinn and Sydney Jewell for Sterling.
Claire Wiesgarber.
All right, Sydney's in with a 132.14. And Megan Quinn at a 136.78. Again, pretty impressed with Northern Burlington's depth. You know, anytime that I think they've come in first place, I think they've won every race, haven't they? Except butterfly. Michael Berkeley's got a first place in butterfly for us. And Braden in the IM. Never mind, we got 2 wins. So this is Braden's breaststroke. If I recall, this is the same kid he swam in the relay where Braden was behind but caught him a little bit. So this should be a good race and a good chance for Sterling to win one. So we got Braden Sheehan, we got Isabella D'Angelo and Ashley Blakelock.
And for the 100 breast, we have Jonathan Boucher, Maddie Fletcher, and Shayna Nyark. And I just want to go back to the point you made. If any swim coaches are watching, please print your sheets and don't write on them, because it is.
My advice is just start making up names.
Yep.
All right, so when they do a turn, you get one pull, one kick, and then a stretch. So you get really one underwater pull out. And the good ones last about 6 seconds under the water. You're taking up about 10 meters or 10 yards. And that'll help you when it gets to the lap, the third and fourth lap. You're saving strokes. So you'll see Braden goes off streamline, 1-2, he'll pull down, 1-2, now he'll kick stretch. Almost got halfway down the pool.
And I'm guessing the more distance you can create on those, the better, because for less times you got to come up and take a stroke down the pool.
That's correct. And by the time you get to that last lap, you're really saving strokes. So Ashley Blakelock's doing a great job up in lane. She's at 6. She's fighting for a 4th and 5th spot. Let's see if she can reel that in. Braden is going to finish first with a time of 1:07.63. Really good time for Braden. All right, there's Ashley Blakelock up in 6. She's catching up, that lane 7 swimmer. Come on, Ash. There she is, coming last couple strokes. One more.
And she got it, came in 4th with a 1:28.06.
Difference was 8 hundredths between 4th and 5th place, so great finish. And in lane 1, Isabella D'Angelo finished with, at lane 2, 1:40.45. So actually in that race there, they pointed out 8-8. You know, a 1st and a 5th kept us even, or a 1st and a 4th rather. All right, last event of the day. Hard to say that. It's a quick meet. Is the 400 free relay. In lane 4, 100 Jewel, Kaylee Sheehan, Michael Berkeley, and Braden Sheehan. Again, Braden's just getting out of the water. Kaylee's just getting out of the water. Jumping in the race here. In lane 2, Cara Coppolino, Vivian Cesarano, Megan Ahern, and Gianna Papa. And in lane 6, we have Megan Quinn, Isabella D'Angelo, Kayla D'Angelo, and Kira Ahern.
In lane 5 from Northern Burlington is Dylan Kate, Matt Legena, Jonathan Boucher, and Will Applegate. In lane 3 is Abby Mattins, Kenna Koshan, Megan Dam, and Maddie Fletcher. And in lane 7, Isabella Sakona, Danielle Manowski, Liam Fang, and Jasmine Hu.
And curiously here, the officials are taking a little break, I guess recognizing that both teams they don't have too many swimmers, and you give them a chance to recover a little bit. They're not supposed to go in for warm-up. They're chasing them out of the pool here. But a lot of Sterling swimmers just got out of the water. We'll give them about 2 or 3 minutes just to recover.
It's got to be allowing your body having 5, you know, if you're in most of the races, 5, 6 events, all at you know, all in the span of 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's a really tough challenge. And again, you're typically not going to get your best swims, but you have to do, you know, as close as you can to help your team. Ideally, in 40 minutes, maybe do 2 swims, maybe 3, but they're doing 4, and a lot of times there's no turnaround and recovery time.
And I'm sure, you know, knowing as a coach that it's got to be in this time period of, you know, we only have 40 minutes and you're going to go out there and swim 5 times. Conditioning must be an emphasis in the pool, whether I'm sure time trials are a big thing, and, you know,
and that's something you practice.
I guess you can't call them sprint workouts, but, you know, moving training faster in the pool.
You know, you'll put things on intervals, and sometimes you give them a short rest, sometimes it's a long rest to give kids a chance to recover. So, yeah, it's not ideal. And again, if you have a team where you have like 40 kids, then you can maybe take a kid or 2 out and let them rest up a little bit. On occasion, you'll ask a kid in a 500 freestyle, take one for the team, maybe go a little slower, give your teammates a chance to recover. So there's different things that you do to try to build in breaks. But this is good. The officials kind of recognize that, you know, we're a little gassed here and just taking a minute. And the meets go fast. The next meet's probably coming in another 20 or 30 minutes, so they do have some time.
One thing we haven't really talked a lot about here, Matt, so far is the practice of our Sterling Knights.
So Sterling has a very unique practice time. It's got some advantages and disadvantages. We swim at 5:30 to 7 o'clock in the morning at the giant fitness center over in Voorhees. The good thing about it is it's a set schedule. After school, the kids are done. They can have a job. They can do their studies. They can go watch the other sports, wrestling and basketball. The bad thing is getting up every day for a 5:15 bus. So I give these guys a lot of credit. It's difficult in itself, the sport of swimming, but then to introduce the new swimmers to get up that early is really asking a lot. But these guys don't seem to mind. I'm sure they like a day or two and they can sleep in, but you know, there's misery loves company. These guys get along well together.
That's amazing. I don't think in my life I've ever could get up that early. That's what dedication.
It's kind of funny. On occasion, we have some people work out in the fitness center early in the morning. They'll do that 1 or 2 days a week. I said the swimmers are doing that for 10 weeks, 10 or 12 weeks, you know, 4 or 5 days a week.
That's unreal.
You know, I think that's the difference. You know, the swimmers are working before everybody else, but then that comes into play. They got to be in bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock on a school night, which is something different from when you were playing soccer. You could stay up until 12 and cram and get your homework done. Now you got to go to bed, or else you're going to miss swim practice. I think it's something for the new swimmers. Maybe they got to adjust to.
Right. And Kaylee and Braden swim for SJAC, and a couple nights a week they have practice from 8 to 9:30 at night, and they'll double up. Wow. So they're getting it on the morning side, and then they're getting late at night too. So, but they enjoy the camaraderie. That's the best thing about it. All right, so here we go. 400 freestyle relay. You got Hunter Jewell, Isabella D'Angelo, Hunter Jewell, Cara Coppolino, and Megan Quinn.
Lane 4 and lane 3 for Sterling, almost neck and neck, with lane 5 for Northern Burlington coming in right behind. Hunter Jewell in the pool for the Sterling Knights, soccer player.
So Hunter's job here is to stay as close as he can to the swimmer from Northern Burlington. If he can stay within her feet or her hip, that'll help the second swimmer, which is Michael Berkeley. Now, we saw Michael. He swam the 50 free, 100 fly. Michael's one of our stronger sprinters. So moving him up here, we should be able to make up some ground on the second swimmer from Northern Burlington. And they may be doing this strategically because Michael's had a little more rest than Kaylee and Braden, who swam the backstroke and breaststroke. So let's see if Michael can make up the difference here.
He seems to be closing that gap pretty quickly.
This is a great spot for Michael because he breathes to the left. He can see exactly where the swimmer is. He's finishing up his first 50 and he's made up the distance. And now he'll make a turn and then start trying to hit some calm water in front of him.
Michael Berkeley really closed that gap there for Sterling. Now seems to be in the lead almost. Northern Burlington has third so far.
All right, so we got Sterling 1, Northern Burlington 2, 3, and Michael will be finishing up here, and the third swimmer for Sterling is Kaylee Sheehan. So a good barometer here. If everybody does a minute, it's a 4-minute relay. So we're a little bit under that pace right now. We're at a 1:58. So between Kaylee and Braden, if they can come in under a minute, we should finish at about a 3:54, which is a pretty quality time at this point in the season. So Kaylee's going to try to work on stretching his lead out, keeping a nice steady pace, strong tempo here. I'm checking out Coach Flacco here. He's writing down some splits on the side. Coaches will put some times together, send some out to the kids, let them know their times and their splits, and they'll keep track of best times throughout the course of the year.
This gap is close to almost a quarter pool length now for Sterling, between lanes 4 and lanes 3.
All right, so Kaylee's going to touch in at 3:01. Let's see if Braden, if he can, they want to get under, they want to break 4 minutes. So Braden's got to do a 56 or 57 to get under, which I think he's very capable. We talked about Braden's distance, but Braden's going to put a pretty good split on a 100 freestyle here.
And now it's almost a half full length for Sterling as Braden Sheehan comes in on his final 50.
Braden's got a unique swimming style here. I don't recommend youngsters at home follow this, but he's breathing every stroke. He kind of has an arm flopping a little higher than the other. But that's a distance swimmer stroke, and he tries to get to rhythm. His club coach is trying to break him out of that. But he's going to come up with a pretty good split here. Again, the goal was to break 4 minutes.
Coming in on the final 50. Passes the flags at 3:52. And almost on the money. You said 3:54. He was at 3:55.19.
Braden split a 54 there, which is a pretty good time. Northern Burlington touches up second.
4:04.86. Coming in at third. Oh, sorry. Still another 50 to go.
Yeah.
Here in lane 2.
I think it's Gianna Papa.
I believe you're right.
And in lane 6, we have Cara Ahern. Lane
Coming
6
in for third is for Northern Burlington. Lane 7. Jasmine Hu finished it up for the 4:37.42 relay time. Coming in now, Gianna Papa finishes up fourth for lane 2, 4:52.96.
Now you get some camera time here.
Yeah, so we have, I think that's Cara Ahern we had mentioned. All right. Kira's new, came out for the sport a couple years ago. It's great to have girls like Kira, her sister Megan, Sydney Jewell, Cara Coppolino. It's a bunch of good friends who enjoy swimming together. They're good teammates, good program girls.
Yeah, once you build a core in any program, you can build off that and add more people to that core to make the team as successful as possible. She comes in at a 5:39.06.
So great job for Sterling. Final score was kind of determined, or I'm sorry, the outcome of the meet was determined probably midway through the swim meet. We knew Northern Burlington had a little bit more depth and talent, but I think Sterling coach will be pretty happy with what they saw today in terms of the times that they achieved today and then the different strokes and events that kids swam.
And again, really only racing against yourself, the team score, especially when you go up against guys like Northern Burlington. They're a really deep team, really good team. You're going to go out and try and focus on your times or your teammates' times and, just hope to improve every meet.
All right, Matt, thank you very much for helping us along there. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. On behalf of the team and the coach, I appreciate you guys coming out and getting these guys. I know once they get into the basketball and wrestling season, it's tough to get out here. So thanks a lot for Channel 19 for doing this.
It looks like I think we're back Tuesday with Audubon, and we have another one coming up as well. So quite a few.
Well, goodbye from the Kroc. Thank you to Mr. K and Mr. Sheehan for hopping on with us. I believe there is more swimming on Tuesday here at the Kroc, and we will see you then.